Just want to apologize to the lactose intolerance, those with dairy allergies. This recipe is not going to be for you, so I'm sorry about that. We got a whole lot of dairy coming at you. Maybe that's a moot point.
A moot point?
It's a moot point, you know? It's like a cow's opinion. Doesn't matter. It's moot.
It's like a cow's opinion. It just doesn't matter. It's moo.
What's up, guys? Registered dietitian Kara Corey here. Happy December. We only have a few weeks left of the year, and today I'm going to show you one of my favorite all-time protein recipes. This recipe only uses a few ingredients, and it is going to be a game changer for you. We're going to make my protein cheesecake. For the protein cheesecake, you guys can really use any flavor of MTS Whey that you want. I am using today the flavor peanut butter fluff, but really anything goes. The blueberry muffin and the pumpkin pie are probably my two favorites for making the cheesecake, but the peanut butter fluff is also really good. You guys can use whatever flavor you want. Even though we're only using minimal ingredients, the key here is gonna be to make it in the order that I make it. We've been making this recipe for years now, and I've really fine-tuned the best way to get your most creamiest, perfect cheesecake. So please follow accordingly or don't complain in the comments. So to get started, step one, very crucial, we're gonna use the fat-free cream cheese because that's just what cuts the calories and the fat down. There is still gonna be some fat in this recipe. You guys could use light cream cheese if you want, but I'm obviously using this just to make it lower in calories, lower in fat. Also, we are using 12 ounces of cream cheese, so think about that. If you were using the full fat version, this is gonna get extremely high in fat very quick. So this is just a simple way to reduce the fat content of what's known to be an extremely high fat normal dessert. So, fat-free cream cheese, 12 ounces. The key here is having it soft. So if you can, leave it out at room temperature for a little bit before you actually go to use it. But what we're gonna do is add the 12 ounces to our bowl, and then we're gonna go ahead and throw it in the microwave, just enough to soften it up and get that consistency nice and creamy, because if you don't, it gets lumpy, and no one likes themselves a lumpy cheesecake. So we're gonna throw this in the microwave for 55 seconds? 55. Cream cheese just came out. We're gonna go ahead, take a fork, and aggressively stir that cream cheese immediately and just get it to a nice creamy consistency. What's another word for creamy? Because I'd rather not keep saying creamy this entire video. All right, so now that we've got our super duper creamy cream cheese, next up is gonna be our sweetener. I'm using Splenda, and we are gonna add 3/4 a cup of Splenda to our cream cheese. You can obviously adjust that based on how sweet you like it. Next, we're gonna add in our protein. I'm gonna add in, find my scooper. I do 2 full scoops. So add a 1 and a 2. And then not really a 1/4 scoop, and I don't know why, but it makes a difference. I add just a little bit more. So 2 full scoops and then a little bit more, so. Next up, we're gonna add 2 whole large eggs. I've got these in my bowl right here. I'm gonna go ahead and whip these up quick before I actually pour them into the batter. That way they're nice and mixed in. Scramble them up, and then we're gonna dump them in here and stir this all together. What I failed to mention at the beginning of this video is you are going to want to preheat your oven to 325 degrees. This recipe does take a little bit of baking, and you really do want to chill this cheesecake overnight. Like a full 24 hours is when it tastes its best. So you do need to kind of plan for that. This is a perfect recipe to make on like a Sunday when you're at home just prepping food for the week. That way you've got it ready to go Monday morning, and it's tasty. All right, once you've got this all mixed in nice and creamy, I'm placing this on top of my scale here. We're gonna add in some Greek yogurt, plain non-fat Greek yogurt. You could use vanilla if you want. I always just use the plain. Sometimes the texture of the cheesecake can be a little bit dependent on your Greek yogurt, so make sure you use a good Greek yogurt that's like nice and thick and not too liquidy. I did just have a little liquid on the top of this, so I drained it out. And we're gonna go ahead and add 12 ounces of the Greek yogurt. to our cheesecake mix. I personally don't notice a difference in this cheesecake whether you use flavored or non-flavored, so my preference is always to use the plain Greek because that's always going to be your lowest in sugar and not have as much additives to it. Now that we've added that in there, we're going to go ahead and beat it up real good again. All right guys, once you've got that baby all mixed in, take your time, make sure everything is mixed in there really good. What you're gonna do is take a bowl. I use this clear like Pyrex dish, and what I do is I buy some parchment paper to add on the inside. This makes a huge difference, so don't skip this step. Makes it so easy to get your cheesecake out of there. It doesn't stick and it works perfect. So we're gonna take our bowl and just dump everything on in there. I also make sure to have a rubber spatula on hand so that we get all of it out. All right guys, so I went ahead, poured it in there. As mentioned, I've got the oven preheating at 325 degrees. What we're gonna do here is cook the cheesecake at 325 degrees for a total of 30 minutes. And then you're gonna wanna go to the oven and reduce the heat to 200 degrees and cook it for an additional 50 to 55 minutes. So that is a total cooking time of almost an hour and a half. So I think you guys all know what a cheesecake looks like when it comes out of the oven. So I'm gonna close out the video right here, but what you're gonna wanna do after your cheesecake's finished cooking, throw it on top of your stove and let it sit there for about an hour before you put it immediately into the fridge. You never wanna put something like that in the fridge right away when it's hot. It's still kind of cooling. It's still kind of cooking and cooling down. So let it sit on your stovetop for an hour. It will make a difference. Then cover it up, throw it in your fridge, and I promise you, come the next day, you're gonna have the best cheesecake of your life. You guys can add any kind of toppings to this you want. You can add some fruit, whipped topping, you name it, really dress it up, and it truly is the best healthy, high-protein cheesecake. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you do create it, make sure you tag me on the social media, Kara Corey Fit Life, and I will see you guys in the next video.